Hey everyone, thanks for joining us for tonight's team call. It is, I can't believe, I always say this every single week, it's November already. It is the end of the year. We have 2 months to really push for our own goals. Obviously, you guys all know Core de Force is officially out. Challenge packs are out. Coach, base packs or the deluxe packs are out. Our team group is our coach test group is going to be starting November 7th for prep week, and then November 14th is kind of that official date. So it's for you and your customers to put into that group. So we're all going to be in that one big group together. If you haven't seen, I know there's a lot of posts going on in the team page lately, but I just posted the team calendar, and it's pinned to the top of the page. So if you're on your cell phone, you have to click on view pinned post. And I tried to put everything that I possibly could think of in there because it's new month. We have a lot of new things that we want to go after. So Coach Basics is going to be starting on Monday. Make sure you have all of your new coaches signed up for that. And just go into that calendar and see where we're going to be doing the coach. What is coaching? I'm going to be doing a live event this Thursday at 9 o'clock. I put the event also in that calendar, so click on it. You can watch. Instead of doing the webinar like I usually do, I'm going to be doing the live event with Haley, and me and Haley are going to go live in there. So you can invite your people, invite your challengers that are already in your group seeing success, and just say, hey, I don't know if you've ever thought about coaching, but we're having this live event Thursday at 9 o'clock. All you have to do is watch. You don't have to, there's no commitment to it. So get people involved in that. We have a really exciting guest tonight. Ellie is one of the amazing coaches I met at Leadership. I can't believe it was 2 weeks ago. But I really connected with Ellie. I met her we were doing a beach event, and there was 10 of us on a team, and we legit thought we were going to win these cool surfboards. Like, these surfboards were awesome, and we're like, oh, we got this. We beat everyone in each event, and the events were so fun. And we waited for almost 30, 45 minutes to see who won, and that's when we kind of started talking and getting to know each other. And we came in 10th place. I was like, there's no way we came in 10th place. But I think there was 15 teams altogether, so we weren't last, so that was kind of good. So Ellie's actually a 5-star diamond. Obviously, you had to be 5-star or above to be at that leadership event. She's a Success Club legend, 5 or 10?
5.
5. So that means
5.
She's hit Success Club 5. You probably hit 10 some months for 24 months consecutively. So that's just showing that she's being consistent in her business. And she's obviously not from the United States. She's not from Canada. She lives in Canada now, but she's one of the top 20 coaches in Canada. So I'm really excited to have her on. She's just a ball full of energy, and I absolutely love it. She's going to be talking about creating your own momentum, and just listening to her, you just get fired up. So definitely have your notebooks, pens out, take notes. Ellie, thank you so much. Take it away.
Thank you so much for having me, you guys. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And I'm going to start with just telling you where kind of my journey starts so that it just makes a little bit more sense. Rose, give me the thumbs up if you can see all right. Okay, perfect. Okay, so I started being a Beachbody coach when I was 34 years old, which was 2 years ago. I was never a challenger. I signed up immediately as a discount coach. And so the reason for that is that my before picture is right there. I was never oh, I have 50 pounds to go, anything like that. But I had the standard issue mom body. You have 2 kids and this is what your body does. And it's not actually bad because I really wasn't totally out of shape, but fitness wise, I was a wreck, completely out of shape. And I was super struggling with anxiety. So even though I was pretty healthy, and I ate kind of all right, my anxiety was beginning to get kind of out of control. And my husband started to talk about that. And once he told me that he worried about the next time I would have like an anxiety episode, I felt so bad for him because I thought like, he's living on eggshells around me. That's awful. Like, I don't want that for anybody. And so then I knew, because I worked for the Ministry of Health at the time, I knew that moderate exercise and clean eating has actually the same effects as prescription medication for anxiety, mild anxiety, not clinical. And because I knew I had mild anxiety, I figured, well, it's time to like move my butt. So a friend of mine had become a Beachbody coach. I watched her and clapped along the sideways for like probably a year. And I was like, good for you. That's so nice. And she was like, come do this. And I was like, no, you guys drink the shakes. It's a scam. I'm not buying shakes from you. This is terrible. So the first thing I bought was a base pack, and it was booty ballet yoga. Okay, this is like so old. I bought it 2 years ago, and even then it was like, my girlfriend was like, what? I'm a coach and I don't know what this is. Why are you buying it? And I was like, I like yoga. So it arrived. This is what happens when people buy base packs, and this is why you should not sell people base packs. It arrived at my house, and I never opened it. Never. I never, ever opened it. And the reason why I didn't open it, it came with an inflatable ball. Not like a beach ball, but like a rubber ball that you had to pump with like a bicycle pump or something. And I didn't have that. And I wasn't going to go pump it somewhere. And I assumed you can't do the workout without it. So I didn't open the packaging because I had to inflate the ball and I didn't want to inflate it. Meaning I wasn't ready or interested in doing anything. So some more time went by. And when it's got time that I had to go back to work, I realized I wasn't fitting in my actual clothes anymore, because I'd been on maternity leave, so I wore like yoga pants. And now suddenly I was like, all these pants, office pants that I have, I can't wear them because legitimately I've gained so much that I can't wear my pants. And to me, that was like, this is a life-altering moment right here. I don't fit my clothes. So then Payo came out, and this just really shows somebody can watch you forever. You can be doing all the right things, but until that one magical moment happens with that person, it's just not going to speak to them. For me, Payo came out, and it was like, okay, I like yoga. This thing doesn't look like cardio. I'm still afraid of cardio, which is silly because now I'm fit. But I was like, this doesn't look like crazy cardio. I'm going to do that. And once I decided that I was going to do it, I signed up as a coach right off the bat because Payo is 2 months, and I was going to drink Shakeology for 2 months. Give it a go like it's supposed to be. Perfect program, perfect shake, perfect meal plan. And then I was going to cancel everything and move on with my life. So this is the reason why I ended up signing up. As a history of work for myself, I've always been in the nonprofit business. I've worked for the Worldwide Fund, Royal Ontario Museum, Give Kids the World. I'm a former Disney cast member. And my actual qualification is in zoology. So my work has always been helping people or animals or educating people about animals. So to me, talking to people about something that really is meaningful to me comes naturally because I've always been an advocate for whatever it is, like causes I believe in. I'm also a Libra, and justice is like a really big deal to me. So the last 2 years have been a blur. Because I've only been a coach for 2 years, things went by really quickly for me. I filmed the Payo infomercial, which was amazing. We did it in Nashville when we had my first summit, so 2 summits ago. We did the Payo infomercial. I was a brand new coach, a diamond. I didn't know what was happening. We did this Payo infomercial. I was so excited. We made the cut. We were in. And then they decided to go in a completely different direction and didn't use any of that footage and did a game show instead. And we were like, there's probably like 5 of us who were like, and they were like, no, you can always use this credit. Say that you did it. And we were like, who cares? I'm not on TV. But it was still a great experience. And you can see my transformation, kind of my latest transformation and my very first transformation from Payo. And then I've done some speaking. I've been on the blog. So it's been awesome, like a really awesome experience. So what I want to talk to you guys about is the success formula. Because after 2 years of talking to coaches about what makes it work, It's actually a formula that you need to apply every single day, over and over, and just become more creative and more yourself as you go. It doesn't change, but you change because you're evolving, because you're not the same person you were yesterday, right? So my favorite quote is, it's not that you have nothing to wear. It's that you have nothing to wear for the person you're being right this second. Because this is how we change. Like your clothes change the way you feel about things. And if you feel different every day. So sometimes it feels like you have nothing to wear, and some days you think you look amazing. It's because we constantly change. That's the best thing a coach can do, is go with that. Be that different person that you are that day. Okay, so the success formula, number 1. So you have to be passionate about your why. Now, this is, as a first time new coach a year and a half ago, there were 2 things I hated hearing. One was find your why, and 2 was the 4 vital behaviors. Then there were 3. But I couldn't handle it. Like every time I asked anybody how they were moving their business forward, and they went, I do the vital behaviors. I was like, oh, everybody does the vital behaviors. Clearly that's not it. But it is actually it. And you only realize that when you're kind of a little bit on the other side, because you get so much better at the vital behaviors, right? Your why is the same. It's constantly said to us, what's your why? I didn't understand that until I read Start With Why. If you have not read this book, trust me, put down whatever you're reading, get it on Audible, get it on whatever it is you're reading, like get it on Amazon. This is the book that's going to explain to you the logic behind being a coach and the difference between selling and promoting, right? The number 1 problem I find, and I actually think American coaches have bigger struggles with that than Canadians, is that there's a tendency to sell, like very aggressively sell product on profiles, which is awful. Like that's a big mistake, right? So if you find your why, you'll never sell anything. You'll never be selling. You will be talking about your passion, and people will respond and want whatever it is that's helping you. So it doesn't matter if it was Beachbody or like Moon Rocks. Lucky for them, it's not Moon Rocks and it's fitness. But this works for anything. So start with why, because it's critical. This is kind of how I can explain it in just really quickly, is if you think about Apple, the actual manufacturer, right? When Apple comes out with a product, it doesn't matter what it is, you're going to want to know what's happening. Like if it's Apple TV or a phone or a computer, they have Apple everything, watches, and you're like, well, what's this new thing? And even if you're an Android user, you're resentful because now they're doing something new. And Apple isn't like, Apple is a computer store. Apple is a complete experience, a feeling. It's innovative, it's young. It's not a product, but they carry awesome products that you want to have. Now take that to Macintosh or PC. They are products. Well, Macintosh, right, is an Apple. But like a PC, what's a PC, right? It's a computer. It's not an experience. But when you say Apple, it encompasses all these other experiences. There's a feeling. That's how you do things right. Because they're a movement. They're young people. They're innovative. They have a crazy office space, right? So this is what you want to become. You want to become a brand that's got nothing to do with Beachbody. You just happen to have the tools to help people be part of this awesome thing you're creating, this movement. And the tools you have are Beachbody. And the feeling you have is fitness that drives everything. But it's not fitness driving people. It's not sales. It's this great movement, and people want to be with you and feel like you feel and have great experiences. And so they come to you, and then really they'll be like, I trust you now, and whatever it is, I take your advice. And lucky for them, it's not something insane. It's actually something really healthy. So for me, my why is that honestly, there is so much joy in moving our bodies. I'm a zoologist, evolutionary speaking, our bodies were designed to constantly move. We're not even designed to sit. And when we sit on a chair, we're not sitting the way our bodies are designed to sit anyway. So our bodies were designed from the get-go to move, right? To survive things chasing us and stuff. So there's joy in movement. That's why we get endorphins from movement. But it's awful that nowadays people see fitness as a punishment for eating. And that's really, for a lot of women, it's like, okay, I need to be punished for what I've done. Give me your best, worst punishment for the things I keep doing to myself. And that's a horrible view, because they go into this thing expecting it to be horrible, right? So my why is educating women that there's a joy they're missing in their lives, and that's movement. And it isn't a punishment. Punishment is the fact that they're stagnant. So I feel very passionately about that. So number two. So your number one is to know why you're doing this in the first place, right? Like, and it has to be a good reason that relates to other people. Your second part of the success formula is your honest journey. So they want to know more about you. Now, I have one set of before pictures, literally. I didn't wear revealing clothes when I was 20 pounds heavier, obviously. So I took one set in my bikini because I didn't own any workout clothes, which was a red flag to me. But I took one set of pictures, and for the last 2 years, I've used the same before pictures. I have a front, a side, and a back. That's it. That's all I've used, because that's all I have. People never get tired of it. Never. So some of my coaches will be like, oh, I just feel like they've seen everything. What? No. People love transformations, not just body transformations. Think about like any other show on TV right now. They're flipping houses. The show, like even the wedding shows where they're shopping for a dress, they want to see something that was one way, and then they want to see it transformed. Houses, dresses, closets, kitchens, anything, including bodies. It's very encouraging to them, right? So people definitely want to know more about your story, but it needs to be a successful story, right? And there is more than, I lost 20 pounds, I look great. And there's less than 16 pages of your emotional turmoil over the last 3 years. So it's that happy balance of like breadcrumbing your story and telling your story as it unfolds. So here's the picture. And I often post like my before and after, and I'll always go back to it. But what you don't see is, and I'll say I'm so proud of the work I've done and the results I've had, but I wish you could see that my anxiety is gone. I wish you could see that I can go to bed and the walls don't feel like they're coming in, like Indiana Jones style. The walls would like get closer and closer to me, because that's what anxiety does late at night. I would always say, I wish you could see on the inside the changes, and share that part. There's a woman scrolling Facebook at 10 o'clock at night, numbing, like literally she's only scrolling to numb her brain. And she's feeling those walls creeping in. And she reads that and she goes, I can't breathe. And you were in a place when you couldn't breathe because of this thing. And now you're in a bikini in the internet with a before and after. That's like quite the journey. I want to know more. So it's very important to have those vulnerable posts that talk about the inside, the stuff you're scared to admit. Even vulnerable posts like, marriage is hard. I've been married for 11 years. Marriage is hard, really hard. So I will post that. I'll post like a happy picture of me and my husband, and then go, but I do want to talk about the struggle, because it's not just smiles. We post these great pictures on Facebook and everyone talks about the highlight reel, but nobody actually talks about behind the reel, right? They just name it. But marriage is hard and it requires work. So I'll say it requires play. Like, when was the last time you played with your partner? Like, actually not play with your kids in the backyard. That's different. You're like dumbing yourselves down to these tiny little humans that have overtaken your lives. But when was your last time you did something with your husband or partner that wasn't sitting in front of the TV, going to a movie, talking to your kids, talking about your kids? Like, when was it? When did you do like a puzzle, or like go to do something like out, like go throw axes at things? There's like a lot of couple things you can do that are fun now. And this is where I come in with, We can't leave a house because we have little humans and they cost a lot of money to babysit. So we are doing hammer and chisel in the basement, or right now, corridor force. And I'll be like, this is something we're doing together. It's hard. It's also funny. I'm better at some things than him, and I'm proud of it, and it kills him inside. And some days I take more selfies than I do sit-ups, and then he throws away my phone or like puts it high where I can't reach because I'm super short. So that's play. And then I will talk about how I'll give them all these options and then promote what I'm doing. I'm playing, we're getting fit together. And then I'll talk about how I outplanked him by a minute. Take that, Trevor. And then he will come in on my thread and be like, hey, do you remember the time we went running and you started crying a kilometer in? Do you? And then he started walking back home and the dog had to pick who to go with and it picked me and not you, and you were crying all the way back home. So we have this like friendly camaraderie, and I'll put that on Facebook. And then sometimes I'll put things on Facebook like, oh, I stumbled on iTunes. We share an iTunes account. So like iMusic makes recommendations for the person who listened last. So if Trevor listened to music last, I get all his recommendations, like the genius. And so I'll post like a picture and be like, I can't believe I'm married to somebody who listens to this. And do I get an annulment because of it? Like, it's horrific. And then, of course, all the older friends would be like, I love this stuff. And I'm like, you guys are old. So the jokes is all good, right? But it's all related to my fitness. It's all related to my before and after. Then I'll talk about how I couldn't joke with him when I had anxiety because I was too busy dying inside or faking it on the outside, or trying not to scream at my kids because my patience was gone because I had anxiety. So I couldn't have these moments with him. So I can bring it back to my transformation, because this is the thing. You can't get away from your body and you can't get away from your gut. 90% of the feel-good enzymes we produce come from our gut. So what you eat is not just you are what you eat. You feel what you eat. So all these people eating awful food, they feel on the inside, not just their bodies, they feel emotionally unwell. And all these people that are carrying 20, 30, 50 pounds, they see that in the mirror and they don't like it. And then they have to go on the whole day having started that day with, I don't like the way I look in my clothes and I'm going to live in this body. So I bring it back to, I feel better. I am better. And I'm funnier when I'm not having an anxiety attack. People having anxiety attacks are not particularly entertaining. We're very quiet and brooding. So bringing back that to my transformation always reminds people that it is hard. There are hard parts, and this is what I'm doing for it. Okay, now I have tough love for you. So all y'all that are sitting on the call, I said y'all for you because you're American. So all of you sitting on the call here, and you have these great ambitions to become amazing, successful fitness coaches. That is my ambition too. I'm definitely not there yet. You need to check out your journey and your transformation. If you can't get your own freaking transformation on point, you need to stop worrying about why your business is or isn't moving, and you need to fix it. So if you have some sort of a food issue, food dependency, addiction, binging, restricting, if you are just lazy, if you're just undisciplined, if you're just saying that it's okay because in the next year you're going to give up all the yellows forever and you're going to have the best six-pack ever. If your goal is to be fit, you need to do two things. Number one, what is your definition of fit for your body? Fitness looks very different on everybody. So to you, fitness could be that you are very strong, that you can plank for like 4 minutes. I can tell you this now. If you want to be a Beachbody coach and you can't plank for a minute, be a challenger. Get your core strong. Get healthy. It's the minimum without an injury to hold a plank is a minute. You don't get a medal at a minute. You get to be average at a minute. So if you can't pull off a minute, you need to get healthy yourself. before you worry about Success Club, because you have to lead, right? So here's the thing with hot market, cold market. Probably know what that is. Hot market are the people on your profile that already know you, or that are so ready and they're so waiting for a sign that they'll do anything. You just happen to show a transformation and invite, and because they're so ready, they're in. They're hot. Cold market doesn't know you, doesn't trust you. Maybe you met them on your like page. Maybe somebody referred them. They're suspicious of you. They have failed a whole lot, and they're going to want to see authority. So it's super cute to be like, I have 50 pounds to go. Come and do it with me. And it's super effective because you go on a journey with these people and you're all in it together. But if you don't have an ongoing transformation, your authority isn't there. You have to show a transformation. It doesn't have to be, hey, I had 80 pounds to lose in January and today I have a six-pack. It doesn't have to be that. But it has to be, I am now here. Here are the changes I've experienced. Here is the inside changes I've experienced. So if you want to be an online fitness coach, you need to have that experience of successful fitness in your life. Otherwise, you're going to have challengers who are doing the same thing you are, talking the talk and not actually walking the walk. So this is the big thing. You got to get your stuff together. And it's okay if you have a hang up. I'm addicted to sugar. Like, good grief. It's so bad. It's not so bad now as it is like the week before my period. I'm telling you, Shakeology works wonders. But the week before my period, I probably could eat a bag of Shakeology a day. It's not going to put a dent in my brain, which is saying, this is not gummy bears. Like, it's not. It's not gummy bears. I want gummy bears. Give it to me now. So I have those struggles, and I'll post about it. I'll be like, so I'm having a female moment over here. But that's okay, because we're all friends and mostly girls on my profile. And if you're a guy, get out of here, because I know what you're doing is disgusting. So we're all girls. And I can tell you guys, it's a special time of month for me. And I think I just like sabotaged my diet for 2 months. I have to do the 3-day refresh. It has been horrific. I need to stop this cravings. And what will happen? Nobody's going to say much other than, you can do it, Ellie. But I will get a bunch of PMs from women who are like, I'm not going to tell you how much ice cream I had, but it involved more than one lid. And what is this refresh thing you're doing? Because it sounds refreshing. And I'm like, oh yeah, wait until you have the fiber drink. It's so refreshing. So it's okay to have a hang up, but you can't constantly be like, oh, I gained 20 pounds, but that's okay because I'm going to get it right this time. Because if you're doing that every like couple of months, you're yo-yo dieting. You're not actually like, leaving. So tough love. Where's your latest before and after? Like, when is the last time you had an after? That's pretty important. Okay, number 3 of the success formula. So the first one is know why you're doing this. Find some joy in your experience that you want other people to have. Number 2 is get your transformation going and relate it to your life. Number 3, this is very, very important. Write this down. The first nut. I know, it sounds crazy, but I didn't come up with it. It's not mine. Write down the first nut. And then, is it the second nut? I'm going to have to send the link to somebody. It's got to do with a nut, and it's a person. I'm pretty sure it's the first nut. So this is the logic. It's a video of a guy at a festival. He's dancing by himself. Nobody's watching him. He's the first nut. And he's not rave dancing. He's festival dancing. He's like going absolutely insane. And everybody's looking at him in a wide circle like, not that kind of festival. So he's dancing and jiggling and he's half naked and he's going and he doesn't care. He does not care. And everyone's watching and kind of like, good for him maybe? But then comes another guy, a random guy, who jumps in with him and starts dancing just as completely insane. And 2 minutes later comes a third person, and then a fourth, a fifth, and then suddenly there are more people doing that than people that are not. And the reason isn't that the first guy started dancing. The reason is that the masses saw one person follow him. They needed one person to be the first follower. And that first success the original guy had convinced them to go too. This is the same with transformations. Every Transformation Tuesday, I share somebody else's transformation. Huge disclaimer, do not take any corporate images. And do not take any corporate images that say, $500. No, that's terrible. That's terrible. You can crop a lot of stuff out, compliance. But the point is, you have a whole team and you have challenges. If your challenges are not sharing their transformation, first question is, are they getting transformations? If they're not, you need to spend time with your challengers and find out why they're not getting transformations. If they are getting transformations but feel shy, you can like block their faces off, you can cut their heads off, you can show them what you want to share, tell them you will not tag them, but that you believe that before and after will inspire people to believe in themselves, and then they will let you share it, right? If that is not happening for you, there are lots of people on your beautiful team. I strongly suggest you start an album of transformations of just yourselves. And you add everybody's transformation with a little description. And that's open to sharing. When that other coach can take that transformation and share it on a Tuesday, tag that person because they know them, it's not a make-believe thing, and go, I am so proud of so-and-so. And you're not saying, I did this for them, I inspired them. No, you were saying, I'm so proud of this person because they overcame not just the fact they weren't happy with their body, but anxiety or just depression or an eating thing, or that we all have overcome something, right? So the reason why this is important, people watch me. Fitness on me looks like a six-pack. So if I want to say honestly that I'm fit, my body needs a six-pack. That's my body type. Fitness for you could mean just a couple of inches off. It could mean push-ups. It could mean a lot of different things. On my body, it is a six-pack. So they look at me with my six-pack, and some of them are like, Ellie, I want your before picture as my after picture. So it's not relatable to them that I'm like, Quarter Force gave me a better six-pack than I already had. I feel even more anxiety-free than I was. To them, that's like, but then I share somebody like you did on the bottom right, who I helped lose 50 pounds. And now it's not about what Ellie did. It's what this lifestyle can do for anybody. So even though somebody who's sitting in Judith's before picture doesn't relate to my six-pack, doesn't want my six-pack, they can look at Judith and go, she has obliques. It's possible to lose this much weight and not have like skin hanging everywhere. Lots of very, very overweight women are afraid to lose the weight because they don't know what will happen to their bodies. So showing these kind of pictures is like, I can lose 50, 60, 70 pounds and look great and not worry. So for them, it's so important to show people that fitness works for everybody. The picture on the bottom left is actually my mother-in-law. She's 59. Look at her frigging arms. This was like 2 rounds of the 21 they fixed, you guys. I didn't know that skin could go back. It did, because that's how she did. So when you share other people's transformations, you're crediting what you're doing, not your actual work, but what you believe in. Never gets old either, right? Just be careful. If it looks corporate, the reason why we never post sale or like Quarter Force corporate images, aren't they so pretty? Like, I'll demonstrate what kicking like a girl looks like. Have you seen that? It's Jericho and she's kicking, and it says, I'm happy to show what a girl kicking like a girl looks like, because she obviously looks insane. I want to share that. I'll never share it. Our brains have been exposed to so much television. What happens when an ad comes on TV? First of all, we barely watch live TV anymore. We don't even know what ads are. But when you get an ad, first you try to fast forward. Then you realize this is live TV and you can't fast forward. And then you go get a snack, pee, check your phone, talk to someone, because your brain will turn off immediately. Your brain goes, content break, cling. If you're posting corporate images, you are advertising. people are scrolling faster. They don't care. It's an ad. If you're posting somebody's before and after and telling their story, the picture stops them in their track. The story goes like in their heart. That's what they react to. It's not the before and after, it's the story. They relate to an element. The feeling before is where they are now, or the feeling after is where they never thought they would be, but this person looks like them, so maybe they can do it too. So for me, Throwback Thursday is always, always me. Emotionally, personally, physically, it's me. Tuesday, it's always somebody else. Very rarely will I put myself as a Tuesday picture. It's really, honestly, somebody else. Huge for your business. And if you're not doing that, you are missing out on a huge opportunity to show people what our amazing thing is. I never talk about what program it was, how many times they did it, and I don't even talk about Shakeology. I talk about, I am so proud of so-and-so who overcame She didn't believe she could do this. I've even gone live and I've turned my phone around and I've shown a picture on my computer. And I talked about Paige and I did that live. And I was like, she didn't think this could work for her because she felt that she was in her 40s. And I had permission for this. She felt she was in her 40s and she couldn't get muscle. And she ended up losing 25 pounds and is ripped. And I said, you know what? And she's a radiologist nurse. She's up 14 hours a day. And she gets people into x-rays that are in having the worst day of their lives. Sometimes they're like not the state they could even know that, but their family's having the worst day of their lives. And she has to get them into a machine and to hold still and not to move. And she has a terrible, terrifying job where she doesn't know what's going to walk through the door. And yet she lost 25 pounds and lifts weights and looks amazing. So people who are sitting at home with their kids overweight are like, I should probably be able to do this because she could, right? So that's the feeling. And then I go, if you're interested in changing your life, you need to send me a message. We need to do this for you. Sometimes I'll throw in, this life-changing program isn't special and I want to help you. That's the most I will throw in right at the end. And I'll never say what program it is. If you say what program it is, they're going to Google it and get it off Kijiji or like Amazon or who knows what they're going to do with it and skip so many steps and then you have to rebuild. It's awful. So not telling them what it is, people will be like, what program did she do? And I want to answer, it doesn't matter because if you stuck to any one freaking program with Shakeology, you'll get the results. But I'll reply, I'll send you a message. And then the information goes away. So the next person reading it is like, what are these messages that are being sent? I don't know this information. And they'll go, well, send me a message too. Because they want to know, right? So basic marketing, important step. Don't tell them what it was that did it. It doesn't matter anyway. That program might not be a good fit for them. Okay, the next thing. Okay, we've talked a lot about transformations and your why and then other people's transformations. But there's more to you than fitness. Because like, who wants to work out 24/7? Maybe you do. I don't know, you freaking alien. I don't get that. But maybe there's more to you. There should be, because people want to know that you're a real person, that you love real things, and you happen to also work out and be very successful at it and help people be very successful through it too. So it's very important to share stuff that you like. For me, I can only talk for myself. I like to do like high-end, low-end, because I want it to be accessible to everybody. I like to shop because I'm a female and it's genetically, we're predisposed to do that. So David's Tea. This is a Canadian brand, but you guys have other types of loose leaf tea, like Tivana and stuff like that. David's Tea has replaced pop in my life. So iced tea in the summer and hot tea in the winter. They have flavors like white chocolate mocha, and it's all clean. It has like 2 grams of sugar. That's only because sometimes they put sprinkles in the tea because it's cute, like birthday cake tea. And it's all loose leaf tea, different flavors, different types. It's like a roasted almond green tea. By the way, if you're going to make green tea, you got to not boil your water or it will taste disgusting, trust me. So I'll talk about my David's tea. And I'll go live and I'll blend my David's tea with coconut oil, which sounds disgusting because why are you putting oil in your tea? But when you blend it, it gets all like creamy and foamy. I have a bachelor's in science and I don't know why this happens. But on live video, people were like, And I'm going like, I know, and it's dairy-free and sugar-free. And anyway, David's tea, very accessible. I can tell people how delicious it is. I can tell them to go try it. They know I'm not benefiting from it. They go spend $2.50 on a cup of tea. They love it. They buy a whole bunch of them. And suddenly it's like, I trust Ellie. She gave me that tea I really like. Another thing I talk about is clothes, or like going out on a date with my husband. Like I'll put on a cute top and be like, this is it. A lot of people do it with Pinterest, and I don't think it's as good. Take like 4 different types of dresses and go, do you think I should get A, B, C, or D? Don't do that. Put yourself in the picture. Go try something on. Take 2 pictures, put them next to each other and post it. This picture of me in those Gap yoga pants has like 260 comments on it because a war erupted over which red stain is more inappropriate, the one on the left or the one on the right. Literally 260 comments where people were like, Ellie, you can't get the right side pants because it's way too suggestive. And I was like, you guys are totally crazy. Like, I would have never thought that. And that's not what it looks like, by the way. And other people were like, but on the left, it looks like you've been murdered. And I'm like, I don't know why everybody's seeing blood on my pants. Like, y'all guys have issues. How about the ones on the left? Because I like red. And I was never going to buy what they said. I just wanted conversation on my newsfeed. So when you post something like this and it generates a lot of conversation, what happens? Facebook goes, you're popular. You're popular. These people, they're talking on your thread. Okay, you're popular. This is good. This is good. You guys, we have a live one. We have a live one. So your next post, Facebook will be like, oh, it's that popular one. They like her. Show them more of her. So if you have a post that takes off, so sometimes I'll have like a scheduled fitness post, but then I post something ridiculous or stupid that my children did or said, and then it blows up Facebook because people love things that your children or pets do. Then I'll be like, you know what? No. We're going to reschedule a post. We're going to post an invite with the before and after next. And the team will be like, but it's not a transformation Tuesday. Dude, who makes these rules? It's you. Like no one's going to say, Ellie, I can't believe you posted a transformation on a Wednesday. That's all in your head, right? Like we make these crazy things for ourselves. So if you see a post blowing up with discussion that's got nothing to do with fitness, your next post is going to be an epic invite. And all these people that commented on the pants or your kids or the tea, they're going to get blasted with an epic motivational invite. It's good because then more eyes see it, right? This post on the right is actually of a hair curler. Have you seen it? The Curl Secret. You like, this is a total impulse buy, by the way, that you're welcome, Con Air. So you like clip it into your hair and then it sucks your hair in. It's terrifying. Like it spins it and then you let it go and like a curl comes out. I can't curl my hair because my hair doesn't hold curl. So for me to get these kind of waves was like a groundbreaking experience. I think between 10 to 12 people bought the damn thing because I talked about it. However, I positioned myself in the picture that you can see as much of my butt as you can my hair. This is not a coincidence. It took a lot of posing to get the shot. Because I also want them to say, your hair's great, but look at your butt. And they did. And then I was like, you know what? Bio has been killing it. Also, it's on special in a message, right? So, I mean, I have been doing this for 2 years and I've read marketing books. Don't feel like this hasn't occurred to you and you're like not smart. I'm not smart either. I just read things and do them. So you can do these things and connect them to your business. But the fun of it is that you'll do those things and bond with people over tea. Then, like, I did a live stream of me making stuffed meatloaf. Somebody shoot me right now. And you should have seen what my phone had to be attached to get the right angle where you can see my face, but also the counter. And my children were like zombied in front of a TV with an iPad each so that they wouldn't come in. And I did this like stuffed meatloaf thing. And people stayed for the whole 20 minutes. I did it. And then 3 of them made it. 1 posted it to my profile. 2 sent me a message about it. And forget about the business. This is great. I helped 3 people make good choices. 2, because the 3rd person needs to go into a clean eating group because they added bacon and extra cheese to it. And I was like, I think you're missing the point of the whole post. But anyhow, so people love to see what you do in everyday life. You're not just all fitness. Now, maybe you're sitting here and you're like, I don't have anything. You have stuff. You just think something is too amusing, and in the moment, you don't think to post it. Things your children say, things your children do, pets. That's insane. Like if you have one pet, get a second pet, and then you have a lot to post about. Like get 2 cats or something, and then your life will be full of posts because pets are insane. Things happen all the time. Maybe travel. Say you don't travel a lot, but you'd like to travel. That's a good time to get something from Pinterest and then like slap your head on top of like something in Italy and be like, I wish I was here. Would you rather be at the beach or the ocean? Oh, wait, that's still the same things. Would you rather be at the mountain or the ocean? People will be like, mountain, ocean, and they'll talk for like 7 hours about this. And you're like, you really like should go work out because you have time on your hands. So you can create those conversations by things you love. If you're finding yourself constantly uninspired, your life needs personal development and you probably need to leave your house. You need to leave your house and do something, like anything, pottery class or fold origami, go paint, go get drunk with your friends. Don't get drunk with your friends. It's not good for your health. So you can go do fun things. You can also be really hungover and talk about it if you do it very rarely. My husband and I recreated The Hangover for our 10th anniversary. It was absolutely dismal. And all I posted about it was, you've noticed I've been missing from social media for 24 hours. I am alive, shockingly. However, I did recreate The Hangover and I'm recovering. And people are like, wow, this would have been funny if you had pictures on your phone you couldn't explain. And I was attaching them to the comments because, oh, I did. So you can make anything awesome. As long as it doesn't look like you're a crazy person 24/7, just bursts of crazy to spice up their day is good. So that's important. Okay, the next one, engaging them. And we touched back on that one. Creating conversation in your profile brings people back to it. So it's not just like fitness, workout, eat clean. You don't deserve this. You eat too much sugar. You're a bad person. I am the soup Nazi. Do you watch Seinfeld? I'm really old, so I know these things. So you can't be like that because people will scroll past you. But if you stop and talk about things like my kids, you know, if you have pets, that will be just about the same, honestly. I don't know which one's worse, to be honest. I love my kids a lot, but they're like 3 and 5, and we've just come out of the dark ages, literally. Like there's the light at the end of the tunnel now, and it doesn't look like it's a freight train. So you can talk about difficult things too. So now when something really difficult happens, you don't have to pretend everything's great. You also can't ever look to your network for like a pick-me-up. So, you know, some people need that as part of their personal development. They like to post things like, this day couldn't get any worse. First of all, when I see that, I want to slap you, like physically, because I'm like, you just dared the universe. You're playing chicken with the universe. You're like, you did your best, universe. And the universe is like, oh yeah. So if you haven't read You're a Badass, it talks a lot about that. If you believe in God, it's the same thing. Like you will get what you ask for. So if you're saying things like, this couldn't get any worse, bad things always happen to me, I have the worst luck. Well, you're asking for it, it's coming. So you can't post like that. But if you are having a bad day, you can post, wow, today is seriously out to get me. I can't even believe the series of things that have happened. Think of a movie and relate it to that. And then go, I'm just going to like have a timeout with a hot cup of tea. And you're going to get a whole bunch of people having a bad day commenting, I'm in the corner rocking in the fetal position, sister, we're together. And that's good, right? Because you're not looking to them to say, you're going to be okay, or those passive-aggressive posts, right? Don't post in the throes. So you are a whole person. Don't make it all beach body. They want to know the stuff that you do. And we find the same things funny, like most of the time. And if you find something super funny, but you think your network's going to be offended by it, you're running a danger of having a network that's not very polarized. What does that mean? If you're afraid to post some things that might be a little edgy, you're trying to please everybody. It's impossible to build a tribe on trying to please everybody. So on my feed, People know to tag me in Disney things because I'm a former Disney cast member, and that's a big part of my life. My child's named Orlando, for goodness sake. This is not a coincidence. My husband and I were both Disney castmates. So even though he was conceived like many years later, they think we got knocked up like really young. That's not what happened. But so people will tag me on Disney things. They will also tag me on environmental activism things because they know that's very important to me. And I am kind of pro-vaccines really strongly because I have a science background. So that is polarizing because there's a very strong movement that's anti-vaccine. I don't fight it, but if you bring it to me, I will fight you. So, but that's my tribe. They know I stand for it. I also pause a lot in a bikini, not feeling at all like body, whatever. People will be like, what is the word people are afraid of when people are like body worshiping or something? There's like a specific term. And it's got to do with, it's a religious term. It's a Christian thing. I'm an Orthodox Christian myself, but it's a body something. I can't remember it. But glorifying your body, which is a bad thing, right? Supposedly. Whereas I'm like, God gave me this body. He did a good job, and I'm doing a good job keeping up what he did. All glory to him, and also the work I'm doing because I'm doing push-ups when you're not. So that's polarizing. But what happens is they know I believe in that. So the other day I posted, because we were going to leadership, and I packed a ridiculous bikini there was an argument whether it was tassels or a fringe. I didn't get to wear it. Rose, you missed out. But I did pack it, and I posted it, and I was like, you think this is a bit much? And I look great in the shop, obviously, because I positioned myself in the best light imaginable. And then one person, there was probably 70 comments, or 30, I don't know, lots of comments. One person came out of nowhere and said, no, posting it is too much. And I didn't have to do anything, because about 50 other people I don't know replied to her and went, no, actually, she works really hard for her body, and I'm going to get that body, and I almost have that body, and she helped me lose 30 pounds, and you don't get to talk to her like that. And I didn't have to say anything because my tribe knows what I stand for. Love your body. I don't care what your body looks like. Love it in a bikini. And if you don't love it in a bikini, work towards loving it in a bikini, right? So it's good to have your personality and have your brand, your why, the things you believe in. You don't have to have a six-pack to feel amazing in a bikini. I believe that. And no one has the right to tell anybody posting themselves in a bikini is too much. Well, nice to know you have issues. Would you like to work out with me? First, we're going to read a personal development book, I think. So it's important you know those things about yourself. And when you go through your post, it's important to remember. Show your journey because you're living it. Show other people's journeys so people see it's accessible to every body type. And then show your life that has nothing to do with Beachbody. And if your life is consumed by Beachbody, the higher up you climb, the more consuming it can become. That's a sign you need to do other things with your life also. Because your network wants to see fun other stuff, right? Okay, so actionable items. This call can motivate you and inspire you, but unless you do stuff, nothing's gonna change. You're not gonna take anything from it. So, number one, you are awesome. You need to know that you are funny, and the way you're funny with your best friend or your spouse or your mother or your dog or your cat, whoever you're most funny with, you need to bring that to your profile. And if you're afraid of how they're gonna react, you will find the people who will love that, and they'll find more people, and you'll grow a tribe of people that think you're awesome. That's what you want. Not everybody needs to think you're awesome. Just build the tribe that does. I'll help the others if we are different types of awesome. It works great. Then, look at your journey. Wherever you started, wherever you are, if you have failed 60 times, it's not failure. It's just your journey has a lot of up and downs. Some people's journeys are just up for a really long time. It's just part of your journey. Be proud. You're still on your journey, because if you're on this call trying to learn how to help other people, you're doing more than like 99% of the population that's eating chips right now, dipped in chocolate, covered in candy, and deep fried. Because that's the thing, apparently. It fails. It's disgusting. Probably delicious, but awful. So you have helped, and you are surrounded by people who are also doing it. You're not some lone lunatic. It can feel you're alone. You guys know that's not the case because you come on calls, but your teammates don't know that. So you need to tell them that this call was worth listening, or another call was worth listening, or the National Wake Up Call was worth listening. When you hear something awesome, you need to go to your team page and you need to get people to watch it and listen to it so they don't feel alone. And that way you're carrying the weight for everybody you're helping, right? And if you feel like you haven't helped anybody, if you've never saw the challenge pack in your life, ask yourself, has anybody ever told you that since you started posting the way you have, they were inspired? That's going to be your best client in 3 to 6 months. Because first they'll be inspired, then they'll be inspired to go running, then they'll be inspired to join a gym, and then they'll be inspired to do what you're doing, because in all that time they were trying other stuff, they didn't change, and you have. So when somebody says, I'm inspired by you, or join the gym, and you want to stab them in the eyeball, that's your best client in 6 months. They just need to fail a whole bunch of times. When you tell them the challenge pack is 140 US, and they're like, then you tell them, in Canada, it's 165, you sucker. We are lucky over here. That might not work for them, but it should. But when they tell you it's too much, you tell them, you know what, it's not your time. But I'm here. I'm here every month when you're ready. They're going to spend $50 6 times. So spend more than a challenge pack. Get 0 results. See your results continually coming in, and then come get the challenge pack. It's just how people are. You have interesting things to share. You are valuable. You are valuable. Think about the people that love you. The person you love with, like you laugh and you have fun with the most. There are lots of other people like them. Lots of them that will love you as much as that person and need your help. What an excellent combination. But you need to bring that to your profile. So if you're all like vanilla on your profile and rainbows and kittens, and then behind closed doors you think like people falling down is super funny and you spend 6 hours on YouTube watching that, you need to find people who like slapstick, because those are your people. Go be slapsticky together. Like have a Charlie Chaplin challenge group, whatever, right? Find the thing you love and don't be afraid to find others who love it too, and then make it into a challenge group. Okay. And you're just like everybody else. But one thing sets us apart, Beachbody coaches. We are fierce. We are determined. And we shine a light. And I'm going to spend just a few seconds talking about the light. Shining the light is when it's the scariest, right? It's not so scary to post that you drink a shake. And by the way, if you're one of those people who like makes out with a shaker cup on like selfies, I will find you and I'm going to bash you over the head with your shaker cup. Nobody